Welcome back to another episode. I was going to say episode in recovery of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kid.
Please follow us on Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting and Twitter and Facebook /X and Facebook at Poor Parent Pod. We are always trying to put up more stuff. I recently started trying to get the artwork updated. So we are going to hopefully have some new, it looks pretty similar, but I just wanted
it's updated.
Updated, and the wine bottle and our logo has copyrighted material, so I have to get rid of it.
Yeah, can't have that.
Well, luckily we haven't been sued yet, but
yep.
I mean, with a podcast with 13 listeners now.
Yeah. Never know.
Never know.
They could be, picky and decide to.
Well, I mean, I don't want to face a lot. I mean, I think they would start out with a cease and desist, and I'm just praying, this will be the fact that, once I change the artwork, they'll just ignore the old stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to go back and fix it all. Yeah,
that would not be good for 3 seasons worth of content.
Well, it wouldn't be too bad for, the... I think in the podcasts, in Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts and all that, it would just be one image I have to change. But the the MP3s when I record them, for all our 13 listeners, I record this in Audacity, and when I export it as an MP3, you can put cover art. So do you remember when you got a CD, you would cover art and you play it in your computer?
Yep.
You can add cover art as metadata. And so if they sued us or send a letter, I'd have to go back and alter all 56 MP3 files to get rid of that.
Oh, wow.
To alter. And I could do it, but I was just oh, God, I hope they don't say anything.
To.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time they notice and give a shit, we'll be...
25 listeners.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or we'll be at 100 episodes or 200 episodes and we're just going to drop the first 50.
There you go. Because season 4, we're trying to get that up for that, right? The new image.
Yeah. So it'll come out we're, I think we have, this is our, I don't remember how many. We shoot for 25, 26 episodes a season.
Mm-hmm. And we only have 3 or 4 more, right?
So we have this one. We have one more solo. And then we have our next guest, Tim. 2 more solos.
Oh, okay. So
it's about 5 left. 5 or 6. So it wouldn't be too bad. But I'm excited. I will say I went on Fiverr to get... that's who did our first artwork. Mm-hmm. And, I only paid $25 for it. It's it was a little clip arty.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It's cute.
It was cute. $25.
It's what we wanted.
Yeah,
it's what we told her. Or him.
This time I was looking around Fiverr and there was people advertising. They're I can make your logos for your brand. And I was I knew I had to update the graphics just because the wine bottle. And so I was I'll pay a little extra. And so I spent it on this one. I'm not going to name her. But the artist had these really kind of cool retro, they almost look like something you would have for a tattoo. Mm-hmm. Really cool logo designs. And I was oh, that's what I want. So I sent her our original images and I'm can you start here and give me something updated? Mm-hmm. And the first image she gave us was boo-boo. So bad. Because the logos she had were all these kind of retro cool looking things. Mm-hmm. And what she gave us was just some really bad clip art she'd slapped together in an image with some fonts. And I was this is crap. And it was admittedly I hadn't spent, thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. It was maybe $150, but still I was Kalia could have done better than this. She's fucking 10.
Yeah.
But I wrote her back and I was hey, I was looking at something more like what's in your gallery. Mm-hmm. And she delivered. She the new images she gave us were a lot better, and we're
fine-tuning them.
Yeah, we're fine-tuning. We're 1 or 2 revisions away from having it done, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, so probably, let's see, if we have 6 more episodes, that would put us in, this is March, so Probably like May time, around your birthday, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. Well, actually, we'll take a 3-week break, so we'll probably half off May. So we'll probably start the next season in June.
I got you.
So, and but this, I enjoyed this season. This has been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had some good guests.
Got to meet new people, cool people.
And I was telling Jennifer, it might be fun come summer to do like when we get done with this season, maybe organize a party for all our guests and let them meet each other, or maybe next season. But I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we got, there's a website called Matchmaker FM. It's where podcasts can find guests and guests can find podcasts to, advertise their crap.
Right.
And I made the account a long time ago, probably like 7 months ago, but we're not set up for
Zooms.
Yeah, Zooms.
Or far away.
Yeah.
People have to come to
remote.
the house.
Yeah,
There you go.
we're not set up for remote. And, when we first started this, I'm like, we'll just have people over to the house and drink with them. But it gets challenging sometimes to get people over and coordinate schedules. And, there's some cool people I'd like to talk to that are necessarily in Huntsville. But there's one lady I'm excited about. I'm not going to mention her just because it might fall through. But she's an author of a kid's book, and it looks really cool. So I'm hoping to get her on.
That'd be cool.
And I've had a couple of other people contact me, and they're like, I'd really like to come on the pod. And I'm like, I would love to have you. We're just not set up. So hopefully next season we're going to get some remote guests. We'll set up Zoom, and we'll try and start posting stuff on YouTube. The video version. Right now, we just started posting. I got the first 2 seasons up on YouTube, but it's just like a still image.
Okay.
So, and I spent all this time. I was so proud of myself because I learned how to use a video editing software called DaVinci. And I was like, I just need a still image, maybe with some like a waveform in the background or some sort of motion, so you just know it's not a still image. And so I had rendered about 6 episodes of our first season, and I was starting to post them on YouTube. And I noticed when I was in the YouTube studio, I was like, do you have a podcast? I'm like, oh yeah. So all I had to do was link up our, what's called the feed for our podcast. And it just automatically downloaded everything. And I didn't have to do anything. I was like, oh, God.
Well, at least you figured it out 6 episodes in, not 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Not too bad.
No.
But it could be worse.
Yep.
So yeah, that's been my adventure the last couple of weeks. And I know no one on the podcast is going to realize this, but we haven't recorded in probably 3. No, when was your surgery? It was
3 weeks ago next Monday. Or this coming up Monday.
Yeah.
So
Miss Jennifer finally had her bunion surgery.
Yep.
And how are we recovering?
We're recovering. Okay. Not being able to walk and use your hands really fucking sucks. You don't realize how much you use your hands until you can't. I am very fortunate that I have the bestest friend in the world and the bestest other friend, his husband in the world, by y'all taking Wesley the first 2 weeks, because that was where the pain was the most, and like the swelling and things like that, because I can't take care of myself. And right now I'm learning this week that I have to take care of Wesley too, which is really fucking hard when you can barely take care of yourself.
Yep.
And anytime I ask him to do something, it's like pulling teeth, and then it just makes me not want to ask.
Understandable.
And then so I am trying to be independent, but fuck, I can't use, my foot and then my hands. I got a crutch everywhere, so it's really challenging. He is really pushing the buttons and my patience, and I've left him after school closes at 7:00 during the week, Monday through Thursday. So I've been leaving them at after school until 6:30, just so I don't have to deal with him until I absolutely have to. So I pick him up, we get dinner, and then I'm just like, go to bed. I mean, not really, but like, it's not that far from when we go to bed, because it's just been so rough with him.
Well, you had asked us to watch him the first week, and it got to that first weekend, and I was like, Zane, we probably should, you'd said it was still hurting pretty bad. So I was like, why don't we just go ahead and extend it, another week? Because he had, as always with kids, they are fine with other people. And he was mostly okay with us. He didn't fight with us getting up in the mornings. He was grumpy,
Right.
but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't psychotic behavior like you've shown to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, so like we were, okay, it's not too bad. I think Cleo was getting a little sick of him towards the end.
I can understand why.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's been calling her fat lately. Yeah. So him and Justin and Kalia were playing basketball, and Kalia later on was like, Wesley said I'm fat, and even Justin said she's not fat. I'm like, you're not fat, baby. I was like, he is a bony little child who's deeply insecure, but I was like, you're not fat.
Yeah.
But like I said, he was fine until that second weekend, the second week after your surgery. You came over for dinner, and we were just talking, and he had mostly left us alone, interacted with us politely, and as soon as you showed up, what'd you do? Go do this. And he will get a shit-eating grin on his face and not do it and fuck around. And like I do feel somewhat bad about it, but Zay and I got physical with him because it was just like ridiculous. Because like it was after dinner and we were putting stuff away, and I was like, Zane was like, Wesley, we need to go get the ketchup off the table, and he had gotten his suitcase out and was sitting on it and rolling it around the house, and he's like, where do I put it? And I'm like, we're so fucking mad because he just been like, and this had been like on top of many other things he'd been doing all night
Because I'm there.
Yep.
Which is the craziest thing ever. But my mom said I did it too, but I was a lot younger when I did what he's doing. Because she would be, oh my God, I'm so sorry you had to watch her. And then the person that was watching me was like, oh, she's a fucking angel. And mom was like, what the fuck, So I did it when I was young, when toddler age. I was bad for my mom. I'd had some type of food allergy that just made me crazy. And he's just doing it at 13. Which is just, I want to say worse.
Yeah, well, because it's frankly more dangerous because he's stronger now. I remember Matt and John did that with Gwen a lot too. It was like the behavior was okay around me and other people, but as soon as you got around mom, it's like, oh, I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna push buttons and be a dick.
Yep.
And oh God. Now. I will say you and Gwen do share that lovely little trait where once you start get amped up, y'all react, and y'all will both like just play both escalate.
Yeah,
you've gotten better about not doing
trying.
it. Yeah, you're doing better about it, but she was always really bad. It's like when Matthew escalated, she would escalate, and he's kind of a I don't want to say sensitive, but he's like what's the term? Like sensitive to overstimulus. Easily overstimulated child. But and it would cause like bad behavior problems and like violence.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, oh girl, you gotta calm the fuck down.
Yeah. And I'm trying to do that because I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Because I know that, I'm not helping things.
But I understand, like, even with Zane, I was like, I regret getting physical with him, but at the same time, it's like the only thing that breaks through to him. And it gets him in tears, but it's like, would you fucking listen to us?
Yeah.
I was like, we're not asking you to like, lift a mountain or something, or do something difficult. We're just asking you to do something and not be rude about it.
Right.
And, ugh. And it was just because it came out of mom's mouth. He was just going to be a butthead. So.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for the first 2 weeks, but I would like you to take them for the next 2 weeks now too. Because this is hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially with spring break, because I won't let him be able to leave him until 6:30 anymore. I have to pick him up right after work and deal with him.
Oh man, so, yeah, we're recording in Huntsville. Our spring break starts the 11th. So I will say Huntsville has got some nice options. The city has some recreational centers around town, and if you can get into them, it's like $50 for the week.
It's a really good deal, but you have to be able to get in. I'm glad you were able to get in this time because we've missed
it twice before.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes, like, they also have, like, Christmas break and Thanksgiving break. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's kind of like a bus, not a bus, but it's like there's 1 or 2 kids, so it's not a lot of fun for them.
Right.
But this time I know it's a bunch of kids, and it's in kind of, frankly, a slightly nicer part of town, too. So it's on the south side.
I got you.
So I think she'll have a good time.
Yeah, I hope so.
And
Leslie won't be there, so
yeah, she'll be fine. I will say she summer camp, I have to start thinking about that now because it's spring. Mm-hmm. And I asked her, I was like, do you want to do the tennis camp you did last year? Because in the last 2 years,
right? Yeah.
Because it's a half a day camp where she plays tennis, and she has a good time, except for the main coach yells at her, and she's pretty sensitive about that. But other than that, she has a good time. And I was like, would you rather do that, or would you rather do the all day camp with the city? And she was just like, oh, will Wesley be there? No.
No, we know we try our hardest not to have you two together as much as possible.
But so is the foot in recovery? You said it's no longer burning, right?
Oh, it doesn't burn all day every day. Like the best way that this past Monday, so 5 days ago, I got my stitches out. And I didn't realize it was that long of an incision.
Yeah, it's like a 6-inch incision.
I mean, it's pretty much from my big toe to my ankle. It's massive.
Yeah, it's very big.
And then there's another little spot to the left side that's just like 2 stitches. But I didn't realize how long the incision was because I couldn't, for the first 2 weeks, I couldn't like get it wet. I couldn't open it up. I just had to leave the bandage on. And I was explaining to the doctor how... especially at night, I don't feel it's stable, and it's like someone is electrocuting my foot, mm-hmm. and in waves. So they're just like adding electrodes, like from the top to the like I guess ankle, and then they just keep going back and forth, and it's like a wave of pain. And he was like, "Oh, that's just your nerves. I'll give you something for that." And I'm like, well, great. Now 2 weeks later, but.
Well, yeah, when you first came over the 2 weeks after your surgery, I was like, did they give you gabapentin? Because, mm-hmm. When I had my hip surgery, they gave me about 2 weeks worth of gabapentin, and my mom got it for her knee replacement. So I was just like, oh, that must be standard. Yeah. And then you were complaining about it burning. I was like, they're not giving you gabapentin, and they didn't.
Nope, but he did on when I told him about the electrodes stuff, and let me tell you, I've had some good sleep this week. Especially because I'm on top of that with my muscle relaxers and my nighttime medicine. All 3 of that stuff is just
knocking you
like
out.
Last night, I think I slept from 9 to 6, and I don't think I woke up in the middle of the night. Wow. But I don't remember if I did or not. But I mean, for me, that's
impressive.
That's very impressive.
You normally don't ever sleep that well.
Nope. So I'm taking what I can get, and I'm liking sleeping right now. It's just, when I first wake up, it really sucks because the dogs are like, let's go, because they're so used to it, because that's just our routine. And I can't change our routine. So I have to get up, put the foot boot on, crutch, and then my hands are sore because of pressing down the crutches. So it really takes me a moment to wake up in the morning and get going. Mm-hmm. I get them in the room, and then I am like exhausted, and I go lay back down because I'm just like, oh my God, that was a lot. So after a shower, same thing. It's a lot of work, and then it's okay. I gotta rest for a second, but I'm getting through it. I worked 4 full days last week. Made it through all of them. Just been taking my ice pack everywhere I go, and just trying to. Luckily, I got a temporary disability tag, so I park in front of the building as long as there's a spot, and that way I have just to crutch into the building and then to my apartment, but I don't have to like walk across the street at a parking garage like I normally would. Mm-hmm. So that's better. Yeah. That's not too much crutching, but I still have to crutch a long way to get to my apartment. So I try not to drink that much, so I don't have to pee that much, because then I have to crutch to the bathroom, and yeah. So I'm getting through it though. I'm not complaining too much. It just, it's just a pain, and Wesley's the most pain, so, which is crazy. Also, I thought that, with a foot pain and it being, because they said as soon as it woke up from that nerve block, that it was just going to hit you. And then that's why you just keep it elevated, keep it iced for 20 minutes, that sort of thing. But I woke up many times and my head was hurting as much as my foot was.
Wow.
So it was like migraine on top of foot pain. It's like top to bottom. What the fuck? Like, I thought one pain would cancel out the other pain, but that did not work.
No.
And that really sucked.
Because you haven't been getting migraines lately for a while, haven't you? It's just been the headaches.
Well, it's so I call them migraines when they're the really, really bad ones, when I have to, like, lay down and take the Ubrevely multiple times and all the pills, and where it's just a bad headache.
Right.
I call those the migraines because that's kind of what I had to do when I had migraines, but I could get rid of them. But now I just can't get rid of them. I just, they just go down in volume. So just the really, really bad headaches I call migraines.
Oh, okay.
It might not technically be a migraine, but it's just what I call when it's really bad.
But you, like, yeah, well, whatever. I'm so sorry. I haven't got through that.
Yeah, I mean, I just really thought that one pain would cancel out another, but nope, they were like competing for some reason. I'm like, fuck you guys, stop.
They're like bad children competing for your attention.
And then the pain medicine that they gave me really it doesn't affect me. Like, I don't know why people get addicted to it, to be honest, but I just, did whatever I was supposed to do, like you told me to, and just went through it. But I really I really envy people who can sleep when they're sick or when they're in pain, because I was up, many nights 3 a.m. and just up for the rest of the day, and I don't nap. So I'm just up for all this pain. And that, I really envy people who can just sleep a lot, like just naps and stuff like that.
I was about to say, I think a lot of your problem is just your drug resistance to everything. Because I am probably 100 pounds more than you, and like I am so sensitive. My nervous system is so sensitive to any drug. Like if I take a pain pill, it's just like, well, I'm going to sleep for the rest of the day.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, but your German liver or whatever it is.
Something.
Oh Lord. Well, what are we drinking, Miss Jennifer?
We are drinking our favorite. It is our staple. It's what we have all the time, but absolutely love it. It is our, it's by Nighthawk Black, and it's the Bourbon Barrel Cabernet.
Yeah,
and it is just our absolute favorite, because Bourbon Barrel.
It's a Boda box wine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of people who think it's trashy, but it's like, Jennifer and I don't have refined enough palates to like pick out, like, we know what we like, but we don't, we can't drink a wine and be like, oh, this is lavender or, vanilla or whatever. But, I've also opened several bottles of wines over the years where I just don't finish it. And it's like, it's going to go bad because I'm not going to finish it. But with the box wines, like, they just don't go bad because there's no oxygen in there. So, and I frankly love them. Yeah,
and I mean, and we've tried other ones and we haven't liked them, but this one, I love this one.
Yeah, I do too.
This is definitely a good go-to.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a winter drink just because I tend to like reds during the winter when I'm cold.
But you also like whites, and I don't like whites.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I also like whites when it's warm out because it cools me down. I was talking about liking stuff when it's cold. I was watching some TikTok, and they were talking about Ozempic and weight loss and everything like that. And they were talking about, they're like, oh, one of the big side effects of using Ozempic is you get cold easily. And I was like, that's just your weight loss in general. Because I remember I've lost, about 100 pounds when I was in my 20s. And it'd be 85 and I'd be cold. It was just constantly. I couldn't chew ice without just like getting the shivers. Oh. So I can't imagine being skinny again and like, oh, I can't have cold wine. So I'm be so cold.
I mean, I'm a cold-natured person, so I can't. Whether I've gained weight or lost weight, it doesn't matter.
Well, like you and I are probably you're a little bit more cold-natured than I am. Yeah. But we're both pretty cold-natured people, especially compared to like Zane.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
wearing a t-shirt, and it's and I feel like I need to have a heated jacket on,
yeah. Zane's always he's like, yeah, we can't be within 3 aisles of the freezer section, otherwise I'm cold.
Yep.
I'm like, well, that's true.
That's very, very true. My friend said that I could get get chilly in the shade in 100-degree weather, which I'm sure I probably have, like gotten a chill or whatever, because just my body it's
just how we roll.
Just the way we roll, yeah.
So what are we talking about today, Miss Jennifer?
Our topic is missing school, because I missed work, and we got to talking about like how, just being at the house and what we do, and then maybe what we did when we were kids. It just kind of felt like something we could talk about, because I don't have any like staples that like I have to do if I'm sick and at the house, but I know like your husband, whenever he's home, like even when we had the snow day, he was like, I need to watch, what was it?
Price is Right.
The Price is Right, because that's what he did as a kid. And so I just thought that was kind of cool. I watched a whole lot of movies, or TV shows too, but I don't have anything that I had.
Rituals.
I know that when I was sick, I had a blanket that my mom would bundle me up in, and I actually still have that blanket. And it is my couch blanket. Whenever I'm on the couch and I don't feel good, that is my staple, is my blanket.
Yeah, when we're just trying to figure out what we're talking about, I was like, we could talk about missing school, but like we're one of the few incredibly lucky people that our kids have not really missed school. Mm-hmm. I think the only time they missed school was during COVID, when we all caught it. Mm-hmm. But Kalia's never missed a day of school beyond that. Mm-hmm. And I think Wesley hasn't missed anything besides COVID himself.
Just one day. It was either half a day or a full day. I can't remember. I want to say he was either sick at school. Sorry. Or he felt sick in the morning. Mm-hmm. So because it was right when I got him, I didn't know if he was faking or not.
Right.
Because, you just don't know that sort of thing. So I was like, okay, well, if you're sick in this house, you just lay in the bed. If you don't get TV, I'll make you soup. You just sleep it off. And then, hopefully you're better. He did not like that. He went to school the next day. So I don't know if he was really sick or not, but I didn't want him to think, oh, well, if I stay home from school, I'm going to lay on the couch, I'm going to play video games and, have fun. Yeah. I wanted it to be miserable for him.
You like...
just because I didn't know how he was going to be.
Yeah. You're like Nanny McPhee. Like, make them kids stay in the bed all day. Yep. You're sick, you're sick.
Yeah, and that's what... Because I think at like lunchtime, he wanted to say he felt better. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, you'd still be at school right now, bud. I think, finally let him start watching TV like when he would have been maybe out of school. To make it easier on me, not having to listen to him whine and complain that he was bored and he felt better and, all that stuff. But I did try to make it miserable so he wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Unless he was really sick. Which, even when we had COVID, he had no symptoms. Like, he wasn't sick. He didn't... Like, the one time I felt like I had the flu, he did not have that. Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing. I mean, I don't think he could smell or taste the first time, but it didn't stop him from anything. It wasn't
same for Cleo.
Being sick.
Yeah. She lost her sense of smell, but never got sick. So, and like, I don't know if I would go, like, she's never asked to skip school or never claimed to be sick and then wasn't. Mm-hmm. Or, so I was like, just go to school. If she had a fever, I'd let her stay home. She's complained about, like, an upset tummy before, but usually I'm just like, oh, here's a ginger ale. Go on.
Yep. Or here's some Pepto.
Yeah. I was like, I've never let her stay home from school because she's never had a fever. So it was like nothing to stay home for.
Right.
Even with a cough, I'm just like, you're just coughing. Go on.
Oh, here's a cough drop.
Yeah. Here's a cough drop. You're not going to kill anyone.
I mean, that's how our parents did. I mean, I want to say even if I had a fever, they'd be like, oh, well, she's already at school. Just let her finish the day off and she'll come home.
I don't think they do that nowadays.
No, I'm talking about when we were kids.
I don't know. Like, my parents were pretty... My parents were pretty lax about that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
my mom wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it much as a before junior high. I know in high school I did it I did a lot in high school, but I missed some school because I broken 8 bones over the years. So I'm just really fucking stupid. First time I broke a bone, I was there was a not a quarry, but there was like a kind of a valley next to our neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Like it was a river valley. Not I don't know, like a
drainage ditch thing.
No, it was bigger than that, but it wasn't quite it wasn't like a huge valley. It was like a little. There was kind of like a rocky descent down into where the river was.
Okay.
Barton Creek is what it was called. My friend and I were climbing down, and it was it's probably like 150 yards.
Okay.
Long. I don't know how high, but maybe a 45-degree angle. But some big rocks, and you just kind of climb up and climb down. It didn't feel particularly dangerous.
Be a kid.
Yeah. So I was on one of the rocks, and there was a tree growing out of it, and I was, it was a kind of a sapling, kind of a small tree, but it was dead, and I was fucking with it, and I pulled on it, and it broke in my hands. Like it broke off from the trunk broke off, and when I say trunk, it's like maybe an inch thick,
right?
And it surprised me, and I fell off the rock onto my back, and it was probably like 6-foot drop, maybe, and it broke my arm, and I had to climb out of this.
Oh wow!
Valley or vale or what, I don't know what you would call it. I had to climb up these rocks with a broken arm, and yeah, my mom had to take me to the doctor, and I think I missed a couple of days for that. Mm-hmm. And then I broke my arm playing hide and go seek in the dark during Boy Scouts. I tripped and fell on my right arm, and I missed a couple of days for that. And I vaguely remember getting really bad vomiting spell one time where I was just spent all day vomiting. Mm-hmm. I must have thrown up 20 times.
Oh gosh.
And I remember I skipped that. I know I had chickenpox, but I think I was too young for chickenpox.
Oh, I had chickenpox when I was in Germany. I just remember the oatmeal bath, and that really was interesting. But I was out of school for probably a couple days for that.
Yeah,
unless I got it in the summertime, which I don't remember, but I know I got it.
Yeah, it was. I think it was before, because I got it on the way to Disney World. We were driving to Disney World, and I came down with it, and I kept telling everybody. I was like, "Oh, I got chickenpox." My mom and dad were like, "Shut up." Nowadays, if they wouldn't have even let me in the park.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
definitely not. Yeah.
But I don't think I was even in school then. But I don't think I was 6 by that time. But I'm trying to think of other times I missed school. Not a ton. I will say in high school, I did be like, "Oh, I have a headache," and they let me skip. But my grades were always good, so I don't think they gave a shit. Yeah. If I was failing all the time, they probably cared more.
Yeah.
But I will say, my senior year, I used to forge my mom's signature a lot, and I'd be like,
shame.
I'd skip and forge my mom's signature. Like Jason was ill, Ruth Minter.
Oh.
So, I definitely. That was funny because, if you didn't have a certain amount of absences, you could not have to take your finals, and I was way over that. But I still graduated with a good GPA, so I don't care.
I didn't have to forge my mama's signature. I just told her when I skipped. Because the only time I would really skip is when we wanted to go have lunch, outside of school. And I'd skip whatever the class was before lunch so that we could leave campus and go get food. It wasn't a core class. It was an elective. Mm-hmm. And I was getting an A in it. And I told my mom, I'm like, "Hey, Mama, I'm skipping this class. I've probably only skipped it 3 times, but I just want to let you know because I wanted to go eat lunch."
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, well, if you get caught, that's on you, and your punishment will be whatever the school gives you. But if I find out you skip a core class, school's going to give you a punishment, and I'm going to give you a punishment."
Ooh, your ass
I never skipped because I didn't want mama's wrath. I was scared of my mama. My mom figured out how to do that good balance between being one of my best friends and being my mama. Yeah. She was able to do it like seamlessly. In my eyes, I'm sure it was a whole lot of fucking work for her to do this, because my mom is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I always was able to tell her anything without fear of, but I also didn't do a lot of bad things.
I was about to say, I think a lot of it was probably your temperament too. Cause,
yeah. I didn't do a lot of bad things. Like, I never drank and drove. I was always the DD.
Right.
Because my father drunk. He would be drinking and drive me places and throw up outside of the car. So I learned very young not to do that, because that could happen.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, me being bad was, going to smoke weed.
Jennifer.
Yeah. But I mean, and it was, I probably did a good bit. But I was also 18, 19 at that time, too.
Yeah. And
well, I'm younger, but.
And your grades were fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was always a good student.
Yeah, same.
But and I never tried to fake being sick. I liked school.
I did for the most part too. I just my senior year, I finally made some friends outside of school, and because I was in a private religious high school,
churchy school. I wouldn't want to go there.
I didn't mind it, but like I had finally made gay friends, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with my gay friends.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So.
But I had lots of friends in school, so I mean that's why I didn't mind going to school. The classwork was whatever, but the people and hanging out with them was what was like the best part.
Yeah, I think if I had gone to a public school, I probably wouldn't have skipped as much, just because I would have had more gay friends. I probably would have come out earlier, frankly.
Yeah.
I just, who I recognize my privilege in this and my incredible luck that I have a partner, but like single moms, Gwen, the boys missed a lot because, John gets pretty bad sinus infections and has allergies. So he's just in a lot of pain or sick. And even for you, all the doctor's appointments you have to do.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, God damn, that's got to be tough if you're a single parent trying to balance all that. What do you do if they get really sick for a few days? And how do you, I just can't even imagine.
I'm very fortunate that I've been at my job for 18 years next month, that I have a whole lot of sick leave saved up that I can do this.
Yeah.
And that I want to say just a few months before I got Wesley, they approved for parents to use their sick leave to take their children to the doctor and not have to use their annual leave like they previously had to. So I was fortunate with that because we go to therapy twice a month. So that's usually about 3 hours each time for us. Then we have his psychiatrist visit. Then we have, just regular doctor, eye doctor, that sort of thing. And so we do have a lot of medical appointments, and I am very fortunate that work kind of works with me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if I were to get fired or laid off and then have to go to a new job where I don't have as much sick or annual leave. Because even taking 6 days off from my surgery, I still have 3 months of sick leave.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sick before.
Yeah.
I was, I started off as a 20-something-year-old that didn't have kids that,
didn't have medical appointments.
Sick.
Yep.
And and I never really my first big real girl job that was long was at the bank. I worked at Regions Bank and I worked there for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And whenever I wanted to do something and I didn't want to go to work, I would get butt sick, is what I would call it, because no one questions what butt sick is, because you just use your imagination. And I'd be like, oh, I'm butt sick today, so I can't come in. I'd be lying. I'd want to go to Atlanta or I'd want to go somewhere because I was early 20s, And I've never done that with where I work now. Never made up. I would just be like, I want a mental health day today. I guess the more you grow up,
Yeah. You know, it was like, fuck it, I don't need to lie about it.
And you kind of have to plan shit now when you have kids.
Yeah,
you can't
seriously.
just spur of the moment, I'm going to ATL for the weekend kind of thing.
Yeah. I was like that in my younger careers too. I will say the job that I have now, I don't have nearly as much. Like my last professional job was, it was a software company here in town, and we had unlimited PTO, and it was lovely.
Yes.
Because I'd be like,
I was envious.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like no one ever abused it, and I would just be like, I'm just going to take off today. No one ever gave a shit.
Yeah.
And I always got my work done, so it was not a big deal.
Right.
But it's been an adjustment because I changed jobs about 3 years ago, and it's like, I have to accrue vacation time now. And so, so Zay and I have been planning trips, and we're like, I have to. He's like, well, I can take off. I'm like, I don't have the vacation. I have to build it up.
Yeah, and he had to build his up too with him starting his new career. But luckily, he started a little earlier than you did.
Yeah,
right?
and I think he also started out with more vacation than I did.
Gotcha.
I think. I don't know. I'm amazed sometimes with like defense contractors how stingy the vacation can be.
Yeah.
So, but you know who I'm always impressed with. Like we have a lady that comes to our support group, and I think she has 6 kids. She's a teacher.
Yep.
And I'm like, how the fuck does she do this?
I do not know. Deal with kids all day and then come home to more kids? Shit.
And teenagers at that?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do it.
Murder.
Yeah. I mean, luckily you're off most of the time that they're off. I know they have like, you know, the teacher days during spring break or whatever, but at least you're, you know, off most of the time. Like you have the summer off.
I will say I think she has like two or three teenagers. I think.
Yeah, but I think they're at least one of them's in high school, aren't they?
I think there's 2 in high school.
Oh, okay.
And one maybe out of high school.
Yeah.
But anyway, they seem like they help a lot.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's what you need is just if you're a single parent and you have 6 kids, just make some of them older.
Let's parentify you real quick. I think that's actually
this is how you. This is a good birth control for you. Take care of this youngin' for me.
Yep, I kind of want to make Kalia babysit her sisters more often. It's like, don't. This is what's going to happen if you have babies. You get to babysit all the time.
Yeah, but it didn't work for Justin.
I don't think he felt that way though. I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think he ever felt like he didn't like babysitting.
Oh yeah.
So, and I also don't think he was forced to do it that often either. So.
No, he agreed to it and then just got frustrated when he agreed to it.
Yeah. Well, I think what Jennifer's talking about is a few times he would babysit like babies and they would just not stop crying. He didn't know what to do. So he would like punch a wall. So it's like, but I think that's a little bit different than,
I was just doing the birth control thing because he had that girl's baby, and then he would do Jalen and Ayana. He would watch them for Kiki, and it didn't work for him. Is what I was. That's the point that I was going with. That is just because you think it would work. Here, watch this baby.
Well, when you have a young attractive girlfriend who's saying, "Hey, I want to have a kid," and it's like, okay, well, she can do it. I'm sure that's part of the equation too.
I will say, though, being in high school, the egg thing, taking care of the egg and painting it to look like a baby, I think we had to do that, and that did not work for the majority of my high school.
We did bags of flour.
We did eggs. And then I want to say a couple of years after me, they had like actual like babies that like were fake babies, but they would cry and stuff, and it probably still didn't like work as a birth control, but it I know it annoyed those kids. So I was like, I'll take my egg anytime.
Hell yeah. Even if you break it, what are they gonna do? We'll just go buy another one.
Paint another one. Yep.
Shit. Yeah, I like speaking of like taking time off, my heart goes out extremely for like the parents who have like kids who are chronically sick. Because I was like, you just almost can't have a career at that point, or you have to be fully remote like I am. But even then, I would find that incredibly stressful to be constantly at a hospital and Heart goes out to any of our 15 listeners that if you have chronically ill children, I was like, I don't know how you do it.
Nope.
I mean, you just do it. It's all you can do, but it's got to be tough as hell. So.
And I hope you have someone that gives you a break every once in a while.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, I think we're at a good transition point, Miss Jennifer.
On that sad note, Jason?
On that sad note. So for all 15 of our listeners, if you have any funny stories, about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics.
Thank you, Michael. Email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. What are we eating today, Jason? Because I'm snacking in the mic.
Jennifer came, she crushed in the house. She's like, let's do a podcast. I'm like, what do you want to snack on? She's like, what do you have? I'm like, oh, Zane and I do not celebrate Valentine's Day. We both kind of find it silly.
The 50% off day is what you celebrate.
Yeah, we celebrate half off chocolate day the next day. So Zane went and got like three or four Valentine's hearts full of chocolate varieties, and I was looking through them. I was like, oh, Ferrero Rocher. Jennifer liked this. So this is an assortment of, it's like white chocolate Ferrero Rocher, dark chocolate, and hazelnut.
Yeah, the white one is coconut on the outside, though.
Ugh.
Yeah. I like the white chocolate in the middle, but I didn't like the coconut on the outside.
I don't like coconut. I'll eat a little coconut, like Samoa's, but I don't like white chocolate particularly.
Yeah, my favorite out of all of them is still the hazelnut, like the original. Is my favorite.
Yeah, we were sitting down and getting ready to record the podcast, and I was just moving the wrappers. I'm like, we should probably unwrap these because they're very loud.
Yeah, I mean they're allowed just to chew on too because they're kind of got that little bit of a crunch. Mm-hmm. So I was definitely hiding from the microphone a few times. Yeah, if I didn't hide too much, I'm sorry, I can't move that much.
If we ever get this podcast on YouTube, you'll see us like hiding away from the microphone so we can eat, so we're not smacking in the microphone.
Yeah. All right, so we've done our snack time, and this is your turn for story time. So what story you got for us, Jason?
So right before we recorded, Clea was in the living room. I was like, baby girl. She gets so bent out of shape about this podcast because she's like, you're telling people embarrassing things about me. And I was like, okay, baby girl, do you have a funny story that you remember that you are comfortable with me sharing? She's like, I can't think of anything. I was like, what about the when you were what I'm going to tell you? She's like, oh, that's a good one. I was like, you sure? She's like, okay. And so I got her permission for this one. But we had it was a Christmas dinner. I think it was like a friend's Christmas dinner. And we had our friends Luis and Griffin over, and EJ and his, I think he was dating Eric at the time, or EJ and his boyfriend Eric, and Clea and Wesley. And so Clea sat down at the table, and she was like, okay, which homosexual is going to sit next to me? And we all just about shat ourselves laughing because it was like, oh, good God.
Well, there's a lot to choose from. So, I mean, any, meeny, miny, mo would definitely work. And you'd pick a homosexual somewhere in that.
Oh, Lord. My girl, she will, every now and then, she'll just rattle something off. You're like, oh, my God.
She got some good singers.
She's a comedian.
Yep.
Oh, so yeah. So which homosexual is going to come sit next to you at the Christmas is the question.
Yep. I don't mind which one does because I love them all. Are in our
we love
group.
You.
Aww.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they have to turn off the TV, even though it's 5 minutes past their bedtime.
Tough shit.
Go to bed.
Yes, right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.